The sun was high, the sky was a swath of flawless blue. It was a perfect day for a family outing at Crystal Lake. We packed a picnic basket, towels, and sunscreen. Laughter filled the car as we drove. Our two young children, Lily and Sam, bounced in their seats, their excitement bubbling over. My wife, Sarah, smiled at me, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. We parked the car and found a secluded spot by the water. The air was warm and carried the sweet scent of pine needles. We spread our blanket beneath the shade of a towering oak. Lily and Sam were eager to get into the water. They raced each other to the shore, their laughter echoing through the air. Sarah and I unpacked the picnic basket, spreading sandwiches, fruit, and cookies on a checkered cloth. We watched as Lily and Sam splashed each other, their joyous shouts a melody to our ears. The water sparkled invitingly, beckoning us to join the fun. After lunch, Sarah decided to take a dip in the lake. The water was cool and refreshing. She waded deeper, her smile widening as the water reached her shoulders. I watched from the shore, a sense of contentment washing over me. The sun warmed my skin, and the gentle lapping of the water against the shore was a soothing lullaby. Our children played on the shore, building castles in the sand. It was a perfect moment, a snapshot of pure happiness. "It's lovely," Sarah called out to me, her voice echoing across the water. "You should come in." I smiled and shook my head. "I think I'll stay here and enjoy the view," I replied, my gaze lingering on her. She looked beautiful, her hair glistening in the sunlight, her laughter carrying on the gentle breeze. The serenity of the moment was shattered in an instant. Sarah's laughter died abruptly, replaced by a gasp of terror. Her eyes widened in fear and her hand flew to her mouth, stifling a scream. "What is it?" I shouted, my heart pounding in my chest. I jumped to my feet, my eyes scanning the water frantically. Had she slipped? Was she hurt? The children stopped playing, their laughter dying in their throats as they sensed their mother's distress. Sarah stood frozen in the water, her gaze fixed on something beneath the surface. Her face was ashen, her eyes wide with a primal fear that sent shivers down my spine. "What is it, Sarah?" I called out again, my voice tight with worry. "What's wrong?" She turned towards me, her face still etched with terror. I stepped on something," she stammered, her voice trembling. "What do you mean?" I asked, wading into the water, my heart pounding with a growing sense of dread. It felt like a face," she whispered, her voice barely audible. My blood ran cold. A wave of nausea washed over me. I urged her back to the shore, my eyes frantically searching the water, although I knew I wouldn't be able to see anything in the murky depths. We gathered our belongings in a frenzy, our movements fueled by a shared sense of unease. The children, sensing our fear, were silent, their eyes wide and questioning. We bundled them into the car, the happy chatter of moments before replaced by a suffocating silence. I kept stealing glances back at the lake, at the spot where Sarah had felt whatever it was. The drive home was a blur. We spoke little, the weight of what Sarah had experienced pressing down on us. Her words, "It felt like a face," echoed in the silence, sending shivers down my spine. We tried to rationalize it, to explain it away as a submerged log, a rock, anything but what she felt sure she had encountered. The following morning, the local news confirmed our worst fears. A news report flashed across the screen, a picture of a young boy, no older than 10, smiling brightly. His name was Billy, and he had been reported missing at Crystal Lake the previous afternoon. The news anchor's voice was somber as he announced that Billy's body had been found. He had drowned. My blood ran cold. I looked at Sarah, her face pale, her eyes filled with a horrifying realization. The timing was too close, too coincidental. The image of Billy's smiling face was seared into my mind, forever linked to the terror in Sarah's eyes and her whispered words. We never went back to Crystal Lake. The memory of that day, the sun-drenched joy shattered by a chilling encounter, lingered like a shadow. Sarah never shook the feeling that she had stepped on Billy's face. The thought haunted her, a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the unseen dangers that lurked beneath the surface of even the most idyllic settings. And so, we carried the weight of that day, the memory of the boy with the bright smile, forever linked to the chilling touch of something cold and lifeless in the depths of Crystal Lake.